Were any of these drugs the lethal amount?
Three substances that they identified in the autopsy report that they felt were the cause of death were fentanyl, cocaine, and dimethylpentalone. And the fentanyl was at a level of 5.58 nanograms per mil, which is even under the therapeutic level. So it by no means would be considered a toxic level. And the dimethylpentalone was at 36 nanograms per mil, and it was just over the threshold for even the reporting limit or detection for the test of 10 nanograms per mil. So, and the benzoylecgonine, which is a metabolite of cocaine, is not inherently indicative of recent use. So in this particular case, it does not appear that the death was related to fentanyl, dimethylpentalone, and alcohol, with all of those being at low levels.
So taken separately, none of these substances would be at a lethal level, but in combination, would that be deadly?
No. Well, when we do look at that, we look for substantial amounts of each that might produce common or overlapping side effects. And these would not be at concentrations that you would expect that. These are would all be considered very low or barely detectable.
Do you think that in general, medical examiners and police departments could use more education or more training when they're encountering substances like fentanyl, like these other drugs, to determine what truly was the cause of death?
Absolutely. It is a technical area, a unique area of expertise with a lot of nuance. So putting things into perspective, understanding how to compare values prior to death with after death during autopsies is often a major issue in these evaluations, and an area where myself and other colleagues serve as a consultant for law enforcement and medical examiners. So putting it into perspective, fentanyl is a very effective pain medication that's used every day, a prescription medication. It's used in inpatient settings. It's used in outpatient settings. It is a very safe and effective medication taken properly. Unfortunately, it is something that can be mass-produced, clandestine production, and distributed, and has found its way into a lot of substances that people buy. So it is a scary topic, but it still comes back to the issue that just because you hear the name, you have to take it into totality. Was the level actually sufficient to cause a problem?
Do you think this case needs a deeper look, a second look by police?
It would, as opposed to just making an emphatic statement that it was the substances at those levels in her system at the time of her death.